So I will post another video today as well. Today is Tuesday, October 15, 2024. So I posted the video to Benjamin Netanyahu. I didn't post the first one I did. That's okay. I've covered all the ground anyway over again due to an interrupting phone call, which unfortunately the videos on the iPhone 15 camera do not pause. Simply, you cannot pause them. I should take a call and then start recording again where you left off. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Or maybe it does, but our phone's hacked. So I just wanted to post another very short video on the fact that now...
Can I make you some lunch?
Yeah, I'm starving. Whatever you want to make is fun. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. I wanted to state to you that what is going on also, which I didn't mention in the video I just posted, and I did call the Russian embassy today here in Ottawa, and I asked them to take a look at my videos on YouTube that I posted over the weekend. I will inform them. They didn't really answer the phone this morning. There was a lady there that they seem to have selected to answer my calls. She's not there. I didn't call yesterday on Monday because it was a holiday. I wasn't sure if the Russian embassy was honoring that holiday by Canada. Probably not. But I was too busy yesterday trying to finish my trailer, which I ran into some sharpening drill issues to cut through my metal to bolt my trailer together. This problem it will be resolved shortly. But so you see, we see now, what is happening here, that it's okay now with the Netanyahu government and all of their Zionists who are MPs in Canada's parliament. Canada's parliaments, not just Canada's federal parliament, but also provincial parliaments with the Liberals and Conservatives maintaining their corrupted power structure of Canada in particular. And we know that there are, Jewish lawmakers in the U.S. House of Representatives and on the Democratic side, like Chuck Schumer, and also on the Republican side, okay? We know this. Now, what we see going on now, and I want to point out that, and I meant to point it out in the video I just uploaded, but for some reason I forgot because I got too involved in my focus on what I had tried to explain in the video. But I saw a video over the weekend. It was posted by World News Report today on YouTube. This fellow is quite well known. He monitors the sun and the stars and posts videos on incoming issues. Now, he was the one that initially posted the protest at the American stock market in New York. I was a little upset with him because he said that the people in the protest didn't look like Jews to him. So I left him a comment asking, well, what do you think a Jew looks like? Can you explain what you think a Jew looks like? I explained to him that, my last name is an Irish last name, Irish Catholic, but that on my mother's side, my great-great-grandmother was a full Jew, a religious Jew in Kaunas in Lithuania, okay? So I asked him to explain exactly how he can point out a Jew in a crowd. It was a criticism, because I felt that his remark was accusational and kind of anti-Semitic from the standpoint that, he seems to be under the perception that Jews, that we only wear, kippas and black religious gowns, and that we walk around with the Torah bowing our heads in Jerusalem at the Wailing Wall. You understand, and all our hair is black, and we're a black-haired kind of olive-skinned kind of people, the Jewish race, and you can identify us. We have these quite long eyebrows or eyelashes. Excuse me, which is it, Jennifer, above your eyes? Are those eyelashes or eyebrows?
Eyebrows.
Okay, so we generally have really thick, long eyebrows. This is quite a common thing in the Middle East. Middle Eastern people have very thick, large eyebrows. Iranians, Iraqis, and Jews in Israel, we all generally share this particular DNA physical identifier. I do not. Okay, I don't. I am not olive skinned. My hair is not black. I do not have thick eyebrows to identify me in a crowd as being Jewish. The only way to identify me as being Jewish is if I have my kippah on. Then you know I'm Jewish. So I guess I'm kind of an invisible, non-olive skinned, which may protect me actually in the face of the Nazi security to some extent. So there's, I'd like to explain that first of all, there's lots of Jewish people, okay, all over NATO states, all right, who, some Jewish women married Gentile men who were not Jewish. Some men married Jewish women who were not Jewish. There's quite a mix going on, and the offspring, the children and grandchildren, they are partially Jewish. No matter what side is with the father and mother, as far as I'm concerned, they're Jewish. Yeah. Walk down here. No, to the right to the near the wall. Yeah. Don't slip and fall. Okay. So, there you go. So, I want to point out first that there's lots of Jewish people, okay? There's a lot of people in the world who are Jewish. They don't even know they're Jewish. They think that, they're Gentile Christians, They just don't know they're Jewish. That's all. And there's people who find out they're Jewish by accident. They think they're not Jewish, right? They're Catholic Gentiles of various races, German, French, British people, Canadian people, And, you're baptized in a Catholic church, and you're raised in Catholicism, basically, okay? Then you find out, when you're 40 years old, right? Your cousin tells you, who's older than you, who did some research on our family, because my cousin's parents died at young ages, and the two girls that they bore, who were my first cousins, did not know the family history, really. There was very little. And in my case, I already knew I was Jewish, but in my case, my first cousin, who I hadn't talked to since I was 9 years old, told me on the phone after my mother died, because I finally was able to contact her, told me that her and her husband, they're in their 70s, by the way, now I'm 60, told me that they did some research because their parents died young and they wanted to know the family history in Lithuania. And that's when my cousin confirmed that our great-great-grandmother was a full-blooded Jew. Okay? So that just confirms that I'm partially Jewish. Doesn't mean I look Jewish. Doesn't mean I go to a synagogue. Doesn't mean I go to a Christian Jewish church. Doesn't mean that I'm part of the Jewish community or that I'm involved with the Jewish community. The Zionists and the synagogues here in Ottawa and the Zionists on Parliament Hill consider me to be a bad Jew, an outcast Jew who hate me and would love to call the Nazi police on me anytime. This is their position. But that's not the reason for the video. I'm just sort of explaining some things, okay, to some intelligent people out there. What I wanted to point out here is I was mentioning earlier about World News Report today, that he had posted this and said, in the video, he showed the video of the protesters at, I'll repeat this, at the stock exchange in New York, dressed in orange, and he said, well, they don't look like Jews to me, and that made me really mad. So I commented to him and said, well, what is it you think a Jewish person looks like? Obviously, you're a man of experience. So this is what the question I had. He never responded, by the way. And I also criticized him because he's running around insulting people who leave him comments telling them their spelling's no good, that they don't know how to spell. So I turned around and said to him, well, I've caught you drunk a number of times on your channel using foul language, even though I use it sometimes myself. But the point is in his case, I wanted him to know basically that, hey, nobody's perfect, buddy. Don't sit there and say they don't look like Jews because you don't even know what a Jew really looks like. Obviously, the guy doesn't know. He sees Jewish people in kippahs and therefore, boom, they're Jewish. Well, that's not the case, okay? You can see it. And also, I found out on YouTube just now that the protesters in New York City were pretty well all Jewish. And they were arrested. This is what I want to talk about in this video. You see, the Nazi balls, you don't see them. Like if you look at the video in New York City, you'll see that the police that start arresting these Jewish protesters, I saw one officer, he was oriented, probably a good guy, and these other officers, okay, they're not Nazis. Now, let me get that straight. They're not Nazis. They're following orders. Okay? That does not make them Nazis. Okay? The Nazi extraterrestrial bald humanoids who have pale white skin, they're at the chief's office in the police departments. They're the chiefs. Okay? And these humans, whether recruited Nazis or not in police uniforms, they are just carrying out their orders, you see? All right? They probably know, a number of them know they're wrong, but here's the problem, in that I stated that these Nazi skinhead extraterrestrial balds, humanoids, that they're out to destroy the Jewish race, okay? They're out to arrest all of the Jews. It doesn't matter if you're a Zionist or you're against the Zionists or you're a human rights Jew siding with the illegal, horrible deaths of poor Palestinian people. The balds are behind the mass attempted extinction of the Palestinian people. They're behind it, okay? So now we see, like this protest that I just turned it on again. It was on YouTube. I wanted to listen to these Jewish ladies. God bless them. They're wonderful. My heart is with them. All these Jewish people, they did the right thing down there in New York at the stock exchange. I wish them the very best. God be with them. For heaven's sakes, God be with them. So, I was looking at the video, all right? And so it's important to understand that these Nazis, the only reason why the Zionists are in power in Israel, the only reason why Zionists in the House of Commons here in Ottawa, all of them, whether liberal or conservative, maintain their positions as political MPs, and the Zionist community here, the Zionist institutions like Simon Wiesenthal Center International, and the Jewish Federation, Siege, and so on, B'nai B'rith. The only reason why these organizations are not in jail, okay, is because their leaders are in our governments. That's all. You see, the Zionists against genocide of the Palestinian people that you saw in New York City, these ones, they're not Zionists. Or maybe some of them are Zionists. I'm not sure. But you can see where these hiding alien extraterrestrial bald humanoids, they're all chiefs of police now. They're all high up. They can hide in their offices and they can start hammering Jews with their uniformed law enforcement police. Arresting them. What happened in New York, that's a Nazi policy against those Jewish people who protested. That's a Nazi policy. Okay? Now, that's the beginning. So what we have here is we have now, right, these Nazi alien extraterrestrial balls in our government security, okay? And so now what they're doing is they're supporting and acting in a division between different sects of the Jewish people, okay? And now they're arresting the enemies of the Zionists, okay? That's what they're doing. And these are Jews they're arresting. But here's the thing, as I said in my last video that I posted, at the end of the day, all Jews in the United States, Canada, the UK, and Europe will be murdered at the end of the day. And that may include myself and my wife. Well, maybe not my wife. She's not Jewish. I am. So, they've started this process already where they're going to exterminate the Jews. This is the United States government, okay? Canada, the UK, Der Sturmer in the UK. Oh, he's bad, that guy, that frog-eyed freak, Der Sturmer. And I'm not sure what Macron and Schultz are doing, but I suggest that they are actively doing the same thing. So the Jewish people are in trouble. Anybody now, any Jew, even a Zionist Jew, Christian Jew, Orthodox Jew, who goes against the Zionists in political power and protests against genocide by Netanyahu will be arrested. This is more than just a support policy to the Netanyahu government and the Zionists in the United States government, Canada, the UK, and so on. This is the beginning. That what happened at that protest, the arrest of these people is the beginning of the arrest of all the Jewish people. Okay? I also think that, in spite of what you see going on, what we see in the terrible tragedies in Israel, yeah, bring it over. Thanks. In spite of those tragedies, okay, I think that there. Thank you. That's wonderful. There is a growing belief now, or it's starting to bloom a little bit. It's like a little flower. It's very small, very easily destroyed. It's like a little flower, and this little flower needs to grow, but it could be destroyed very easily. What I'm saying here is that I believe that Israel and its government, to some extent, okay, with this, it's a little flower, is beginning to know that the U.S. did this to them, got them into trouble, okay? That the U.S. Nazi balls coerced them by installing the balls into the Israeli military and to commit Nazi genocide against Palestinians. So I wanted to state that, and so I'm doing so. It's important because people have to know. And it's not just the Jewish race. If the Israeli government thinks it's just the Jewish race, that's not so. Because to these Nazi aliens who are running NATO, the Palestinians are subhuman. Zelensky's subhuman. These Nazi balls forced Russia to murder 600,000 Ukrainian troops. See what I mean? These Nazi balls murdered over 40,000 Palestinians. Every casualty of the IDF in Israel by Iran was caused by the Nazi balls, Benjamin. Okay? The acts regarding China and its right to Taiwan. Okay? Nazi balls behind the threat against China's right to retake Taiwan, which they own. Okay? These aliens, they don't care. To them, Christians are subhuman, must be eliminated. Churches must be eliminated. The Bible must be eliminated. The Christian New Testament must be burned. The Torah must be burned. Rabbis for the Orthodox Jewish religion have to be burned. The Islamic people are considered subhuman. The Islamic people and their Quran and their temples must be burned. And that's what these balls are all about. Now, the U.S. government, the problem now is the White House is in too deep. So is their Congress. Now the balls are running the Pentagon. So, listen, those 4 and 5-star generals with hair speaking at the podium at the Pentagon with their Secretary of Defense, Austin Powers, a tall African-American joke, okay? Listen to me. They're just front guys. The guys giving the orders are telling these guys what to say. And the guys telling them that in the Pentagon, what to say at that podium at the Pentagon, are Nazi skinhead extraterrestrial humanoid balds who are wearing general's uniforms, 6, 7, 8 stars, hiding in the Pentagon. You know, forcing some 4 or 5 star general, okay, telling him what he's going to say at the podium at the Pentagon to the press. You understand? That's what's going on. Their command of human security is now at the top of the political and military ladder in rank. And they are now telling the White House what they're going to do. The only president that these alien humanoids, who are of the rank of general and admiral and so on, running the American and NATO military, the only leader that they will accept is one that's willing to commit murderous genocide with them. As long as you're a president of the United States and you agree to World War III, agree to the extermination of the Russian race, agree to the extermination of the Chinese race, agree to the extermination of the Jewish race, the Christian race, the Islamic race, as long as you agree to that, you're in. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why Biden wouldn't do anything. But if Biden didn't, then guess what? Something would happen to Joe Biden. Harris would take over, and if she didn't do what the bald said, something would happen to her. Trump is their pet. Trump has been the Nazi bald alien humanoid security officials. He has been their ace all along. Okay? Trump is a Nazi. Do you understand? Of the worst kind. He is not chosen by God or Jesus. He is chosen by an alien race and its leader, referred to by God in the Bible as the Antichrist and his angels that I cast down to earth for the final battle of Magog and Gog. There you go, Benny. Now, remember this. You want me to prove it? I'll prove it. Jesus said in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation to John, he said, John, write these things. Now, Jesus said that the Antichrist in the end time was a man. And his number is 66. Right? He said a person of wisdom can find out the meaning of the number of the beast and the identity of the man who's an Antichrist, who is the Antichrist, right? Now, God said that, not Jesus, God said, I'm going to cast the Antichrist and his angels down to earth for the final battle of Gog and Magog, correct? Now, it's in my Bible. Mine's 140 years old. Here's something else God said. I don't remember if it's in the Torah or in the New Testament of my old Bible. I'll have to look it up. But it's there. God said, there are those that reside and live on the surface of the earth, and those that live and reside in the heavens. Okay? Right? So, what does this mean? Well, it means when God said that he's going to cast down the Antichrist and his angels for the final battle of Gog and Magog, that means that the Antichrist and his angels, folks, are alien humanoid. See, when Jesus said the Antichrist is a man, he didn't say that that man was from Earth. And he didn't say that man was human. What he said was the Antichrist is a man. The bald extraterrestrials look just like us on the outside, except their flaw is they cannot tan. They're nocturnal, which means that they're a race of alien humanoids who are allergic to the sun. It hurts them. You'll find in the Russian Book of Aliens, you'll look it up on YouTube, you can watch the video, you'll find that the narrator mentioned several times, identified a few times, I should say, aliens in the Russian Book of Aliens, that some of the alien races were nocturnal. What does nocturnal mean? Well, it's more than just they operate in the dark. They operate in the dark for a reason, because their systems are not accustomed to light, which means light produces radiation. Light damages their cells in their bodies, and it causes them great pain, you see. The balds have to hide in dark places in their command structures of NATO military and civilian security. They've got to hide in dark places because they're absolutely allergic to the sun. Okay, so there's the proof. On top of all that, read the book of Revelation, chapter 10, verse 1, 2, and 3. What is God describing? What is Jesus describing? What is John describing? An alien comes down and hides in the clouds. His feet are fire, which is his engines. Go read it for yourself. Okay? It's that simple. So, what does this mean? Well, not just that, but the book of Revelation is truly amazing because it's kind of a tricky book because it's tricky because people read it in on the ground human terms for centuries. But what the book of Revelation indicates, okay, clearly, is at the end time, aliens will come to Earth. That's what it indicates. And the Antichrist and his angels is one of them. Do you get the picture? I'm not going to baby you people through it. No. What does it mean? Think about it yourself. When John wrote and said, there's an angel who has a face like the sun and pillars of fire of feet. Well, you'll all say that's Jesus, right? Well, that's partially true. But here's the problem. Pillar of fire and such an angel that comes from the sun is an alien. And that's part of the evidence that Jesus is an alien. The term alien in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, how do you tell? How do you tell that it's indicated an alien? Well, if it has pillars of fire and it's from the sun and it's hiding in the clouds, okay, and then you read that Jesus comes with a pillar of fire at his feet and he's lit up like the sun. This was the book of Revelation telling people that Jesus was an alien because he's described coming the same way as the alien in the book of Revelation, or aliens, the way they come. he's described as coming the same way. Do you understand? It was all there. All the proof was there. It was there, right in front of people's eyes. But the governments found out, oh yeah, they did. Okay. So, they didn't want the people to figure it out. So all the newer Bibles were changed. The wording was changed. So people couldn't pick up on this. This is why many of the oldest Bibles that are still in existence, that were written, in the 14th, 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th centuries after Christ. That's why you can't see them. They're in secured archives in the Vatican libraries. Because those Bibles are different than the ones they're printing now. The ones they're printing now are a cover-up of the truth. That's why. My Bible is a circa 1880 Prince James Bible. According to a collector of Bibles, this collector in the UK stated that he had the Oxford edition circa 1882. He said that it's the only one left in the world of that edition. He said there was one other only. That was the Prince James version, which I have. So what was he saying? Well, he was saying that his edition of the Oxford 1882 version and my Prince James version are the only two left in the world. And I'm the one that has it, aren't I lucky? And on top of that, he stated that both Bibles were very valuable. So when he said that, I went on Google to find out what my 1882 Prince James Bible, or 1880, was worth. Okay. And they hacked my phone. And they placed my Bible's value at $1.50 when it was my Bible's actually worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. That's what they pulled. It's a museum piece, my Bible. And here's what I'll do before I close up shop here. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see. I don't know if I can switch. No, I can't. But anyway, no, I don't need to do that. I can just pull it out here. Just give me a minute. I'll show it on YouTube. So take some things off it. It's actually become a bit of a ledge for, I shouldn't be using it for this, but we get cramped in here, but it's always close to me, and it's never too far away. It's always next to me when I'm sitting down, except when I'm in my other room. So let's just see here if I can show it to you. I've had this Bible since 2007. I've had to repair it because the binding was falling apart. I had to use PL Premium from one people, but this is what it looks like. It's duct taped because it's so old. Here's the beginning page. It is the Prince James version. Does it say it there? I don't know, but it's lost the red edges are gone, the dyed red. And when I got it, they were still slightly pink, but the Bible has been deteriorating a little bit, but it's still in really good shape. You can see where I've, highlighted a lot of it. I've read the whole thing a number of times, and I've highlighted all kinds of passages in it everywhere. It's here, there. This is the New Testament, I believe. There. Um, Thessalonians. Yeah, I read all that. This page. These are the maps in the back, which came out, I guess. So, like I say, it's starting to really deteriorate, and you can see the edges are turning brown. It really should be protected in some kind of protected. Let's see, what's it say here? Doesn't say anything about being a Prince James version. Well, it doesn't matter. It is a Prince James version, but I've highlighted a lot of it, underlined over the years, stuff like that I consider to be valuable. Of particular interest and importance. I keep a picture of our daughter who was kidnapped. This kid here is not my son. That's next to her. See, his head's bald, eh? See that? I gave this to the Russians. My son was born with a full head of hair. That's not my son. That is our daughter, definitely. But this one, that's not my son. And plus, my son was born really skinny and tall. This kid here has no hair, as you can see, or his head was shaved, which is an insult. Or my son was born with a full head of bushy, thick, short hair, and I'm not kidding. And so I keep this picture in here so that God watches over my two kids. It stays in there. Then when they're 18 and 17 now, Canada refuses to hand them over. Okay? They're evil, like the government here is. They're sick, okay? And that's okay, because I'm going to go out with my signs and I'm going to give it to them real good. So that's it. So, I've tried to warn you, tell you things. I did have a vision of Benjamin Netanyahu. Last night I was walking with him. He wanted to hear what I had to say. So, I don't know what that could mean, as I said, that he's found out about me and he's listening to my videos or he's hearing things I'm saying against him. In the vision, I was very courteous. I didn't strangle him or anything. I walked with him in the snow and I told him, be careful you don't fall. You'll hurt yourself. But I told him what happened, what they did to my wife and children and me, and the gassing and in the vision. So I don't know what it means. I don't know. Maybe he's coming to Canada. I don't know. What I do know is he really wanted to talk to me. He wanted me to tell him. In the vision that was very clear. So I called the Russians this morning to tell them about that. They couldn't take my call, so I'll try tomorrow. But I did leave them a message to look up the videos on YouTube. I think they might be rather delighted by them. Hopefully, I don't know. Anyway. I guess I better go. I defend the Jewish people in New York City who stood and protested due to the murders of Palestinians. I've got to listen to the video. More, I guess I should stop now and go on YouTube and listen to that video. It's important. No Jew or Gentile should be arrested for protesting. And I admire their courage, and I admire what they did was a very good thing. So, the U.S. governmental system is just becoming more and more criminally corrupt. And that's the same with Canada. Poilievre's a liar, okay? So is Trudeau. All of them are. They're all bad. They're making the Canadian people suffer. They're all doing it. Don't think that Poilievre's opposition to Trudeau, because that's not true. No, he's not. No, he's a monster. Harper was a monster. And
people in Canada seem to have forgotten. That's what a tyrant Stephen Harper was. Way more lethal and dangerous than Trudeau has been in the 10 years he's been in office. Or 8 years or whatever it is. So, you're comparing apples to oranges, all right? The Conservative leadership and Harper are like a horrible pumpkin at Halloween, okay, compared to Trudeau, a little apple. You know what I mean? Like, there's no comparison. There's just, as I mind you, they're both servient to the alien balls, both of them. Anyway, shalom. Have a nice day. And, yeah, we'll see what the Nazis have in store next, won't we?